Hello. I could put that up. I feel like we're adequately spaced now.
Bertwin.
So if you don't know, Bertwin is our new channel mascot. We literally need to get like a little hat for him. Like a little spooky hat.
You get a little witch hat.
I want to address the fact that my hair is orange. This is actually going to be kind of weird because I'm dyeing it Monday. It is July 15th. So on the last Tuesday in July, like we're doing the serial killer video next week. That'll be up the last weekend in July. So they're not gonna see this hair until August, after we've already posted a video that I have this hair. So it's like a reverse order right now. So when you see this, just know that this is going to silver, and the video you saw previously is what my hair looks like now in the future, okay? I'm not that dumb, I promise. Because my hair is like 10 different shades of what the hell, and I'm not having it right now. I don't like it, but it's a process. But also, I just want to share a story. It's not very appropriate, so if you have little ears watching, you might want to skip ahead.
Little ears watching.
Oh no. So we FaceTime every weeknight. Slow day in the office last night. I'm not gonna be able to tell this story without dying. And he's gonna watch this and be like, I didn't think you'd actually put this in the video. I was sitting at my desk working on videos, and I had to toot. And I was pushing hard, okay, with some force. And what did you say? You were like, you say herniate yourself?
I don't know what I said.
But then I got to thinking, I was like, dude, can you prolapse your butthole from pushing too hard to fart? But then I like got to thinking, and she was like, maybe, probably, I don't know. And I was like, well, who do I call? Who do I tell if that happens to me? And I was like, what would I tell my mommy? Like, I would have to go wake her up and be like, Mommy, something's wrong. We know this guy who's on the fire department. So I sent him a Snapchat video, and I was using my best customer service voice.
She was, dude.
To the point where she thought that I called the hospital to ask a question.
Yeah, she goes, hi, I have a question. And I was like, oh no.
But it's like 10:30 at night. And I just sent him this video out of nowhere. I was like, hey, I have a question. So like, if I was trying to like fart and pushed really, really hard and prolapsed my butthole, like, is that something I could call 911 for? Like, would you guys show up to deal with that? And he responds like right away, and he was like, yes and yes. And then I was like, would that be awkward for you to come over and have to see? Because we've been friends for like 10 years. And he was like, yes. And then this morning he was like talking to me. He was like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? And I was like, well, Carly said it was just a slow day at the office. Like, we didn't really have anything else to talk about. Usually we always have so much to talk about, but we were just sitting there getting the giggles again. I was laughing so hard I thought I was gonna throw up. It was awful. That story that took 5 minutes to tell. If you're still watching,
nobody's watching. They've all given up.
Don't eat during this. Oh,
I'll be going home now.
So today we are talking about the Shakahola Cult. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm saying it because that is how it's spelled. I know it's not American. So this is like actually a pretty recent cult. Like, it's going on right now, like as we speak. Like, there are people in this cult. Carly found it on TikTok, which is where she finds everything that she wants to talk about. Like, so instantly I start looking it up because it's so recent and we haven't covered anything that's like extremely recent yet. The original name of this cult, a lot of people just call it the Shakahola Cult because that's the easiest thing to say. But the original name is the Good News International Ministries or Good News International Church. So you can see why they just call it the Shakahola Cult. It's a new religious movement based in Shakahola Cult, Kenya. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It was founded by Paul Nithenji. I don't know how to say that. Founded by Paul Nithenji Mackenzie and his first wife. It was founded in 2003 as a super small church in Kenya. And before he even started this, he was a taxi driver in Nairobi from 1997 until 2003. During that time that he was a taxi driver between 1997 and 2003, he was charged 4 times for his sermons because they are just so out there. Each time he was acquitted because there was really no evidence that what he was doing was wrong. Once the church began prospering, he moved it to Migingo village in Malindi. In other cults, they would say that they had, you know, a personal relationship with God. Like Warren Jeffs said that he basically was God and that God would come to him and relay messages. Well, this guy basically did the same thing, and he convinced his congregation that he could personally communicate with God and that God would come and tell him all of these things, and then he would relay the message to his following, and then they would have to do it. And that ended up with so many people believing what he was saying and then joining him because, you know, when someone's like, God can speak through me, like I can hear what he says, he comes to me, people are like, oh, no way, like I gotta see this, like they're gonna end up believing it. And then we get into his teachings and his beliefs, and this one is just a doozy. The group was influenced by the end-time message of William Branham, and he was an American Christian minister and claimed to be a prophet with the anointing of Elijah. Some of his followers have been labeled as a doomsday cult. His beliefs came from the Oneness Pentecostalism, and the Oneness Pentecostalism is also called the Apostolic Jesus Name Pentecostalism, or the Jesus Only movement, is a non-Trinitarian religious movement within the Protestant Christian family of churches known as Pentecostalism. Don't ask me what any of that means, because I don't know. There is one God, a singular divine spirit with no distinction of persons, who manifests himself in many ways, including as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Teachings were found at the Commune. Paul was anti-Western and hated the United States, which kind of contradicts his followings. Like, he liked William's teachings, but William was an American Christian minister, like he was American, so why he was taken after that, I don't know. He said the evils of Western life were medical services, education, food, sports, music, and the uselessness of life. Basically, he was saying that, you know, everything that we do on a daily basis, but the things that we do every day, like we get up, we eat food, we listen to music, we can go to the doctor if we need to, we have, you know, all these means of education and everything. He was against all of it. And sports. Everything that people should be able to have, he was against. And I don't know if Kenya is like, are they a third world country? I'm gonna Google that so I don't offend people. Yes, Kenya is a third world country. So the things that they are working so hard to get, he was like, no, we don't need those. Like, that's not the way that we do it here. He also denounced the Catholic Church. I don't think there was anything more he hated in life than the Catholic Church. Like, he wrote a song called The Antichrist. He condemned the United States and the United Nations as tools of Satan. So apparently we're just tools of Satan. And he has a YouTube channel where I don't know why he has a YouTube channel. How does he have access to a YouTube channel? But the thing is, he has a YouTube channel and his videos are promoting serpent seed teaching. So he's promoting his teachings. That's education. Like, he is teaching. He is being an educator. He is against educating. It's just not making sense to me when I think deeper about it, but also I probably shouldn't think too deeply about it because this guy sounds like he has screws loose. There was a big emphasis on end-time doomsday warnings, and he even predicted the world was going to end on April 15th, 2023.
I think we're good.
He believed the Kenyan biometric ID system, Huduma Namba, was the mark of the beast. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Huduma Namba. But what that was, it's a personal identification number assigned at birth to access various government services and use it as a travel document. It's kind of like a social security number is here. Like, you know, we're all assigned to one when we're born, and with it we can do certain things with it. It just seems like that's something every country should have, you know, like a way to identify yourself, and he just claims it was the mark of the beast. I don't... Did he predict wrong? Is it ending now?
Yeah, your video would get a lot of views.
No, it wouldn't if everyone died. Did you not think that far ahead?
Nope. I'm just thinking you could catch the end of the world on camera. That'd be a pretty good video.
How would I post it?
I don't know.
Just go live.
I didn't think that far.
Nice. Probably the worst thing he did was he told his followers that in order to meet Jesus, they had to starve themselves. Like, they could not eat, they could not drink, they could not consume anything. Like, they had to basically die to meet Jesus. You're gonna die anyway. You don't need to starve yourself. Like, live your life and then go meet Jesus. You can eat. He's not gonna punish you for eating.
Ghost stories are always scarier when they're told by the very people who experience them. Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Diana.
And we're the hosts of the Homespun Haints podcast.
We talk to people just like you who have come face to face with ghosts, demons, haints, and other strange paranormal phenomena. All of it makes for a chilling good time.
So grab yourself a sweet tea, turn off the lights, and listen to some eerie, true ghost stories on Homespun Haints, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm not scared. Are you?
Okay. The church. In 2010, the church started getting negative attention. There was negative emotions on his practices. In 2016, there were unconfirmed reports that a member of the group sold their property on the island of Lamu to Paul for 20 million KSH and then gave the money to Paul.
The KSH is the Kenyan currency. That's the word I was looking for. Currency.
Allegedly used the money to buy property in the cities of Mombasa and Malindi. Some followers convinced other members to sell their properties and give the money to the church. In 2017, Paul and his second wife, from 1981 to 2018, faced several charges relating to the church. They were charged with promoting radicalization, but were later declared innocent. I said radicalization in one charge. He encouraged students to abandon their education, and he denounced it, saying it's ungodly.
Which, I don't know where he was getting his sources from, saying that an education is ungodly, because even, like, the most godly people in this country go to school.
I don't know, maybe he thought if you're not devoting every single second to, like, the church. He denied medical care to the children, and several ended up dying from lack of health care. 93 children were rescued by the government and taken away from the church. In 2018, he was criticized by community leaders for encouraging kids to drop out of school without parental consent. On October 29th, 2021, he was acquitted in one of 2 criminal cases and the other was dropped. Shakahola Forest. In April 2023, a man went to the police after his wife and daughter left Nairobi, Kenya to join Paul in Kilifi. His family didn't return, so the police went to the community to investigate. They found emaciated humans and shallow graves. 15 members were rescued by the police. They told the police that they had been ordered to starve themselves to meet Jesus. 4 of them died before getting to the hospital.
Just imagine being an authority, going into that forest and finding just massive holes with dead people in them. And then these people come up and they're like, no, we're supposed to be doing this because we're going to meet Jesus. Just imagine what those...
You'd be like, I'm sorry, what?
I beg your pardon? They must have just been looking at those people like they were off their rocker, like, because who in their right mind would starve their own children? Like, parents were making their own children starve to death so they can meet Jesus. This whole thing makes me really mad, if you can't tell.
Understandably. Over a 3-week period, police searched the 800-acre commune. They found more shallow graves and more survivors who were starving themselves to death. The first bodies recovered from the graves were mainly children. 1 grave held 6 bodies, 1 grave held 12 children. 1 human was buried alive for 3 days and taken to the hospital for treatment. Police believe there was an unknown number of people still missing and evading police in the forest. Paul said the fast would only count if they gathered together and offered them his farm as a fasting venue. They were not to mingle with anyone from the outside world, and if they wanted to go to heaven, they were to destroy all documents given by the government, including national IDs and birth certificates.
That is just insane to me. Like, he wanted these people to be so closed off from the rest of the world. And like, you see that in America with like these communes, like what we saw with Warren Jeffs, like what he did, he built all around. They couldn't get out. They had no, he took the kids out of schools and did all that. So it's like he's doing the same thing. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm overwhelmed.
You're always overwhelmed.
I know. Do you want to see more of this? Straw.
Right in the eye.
Or this. But on my Sims.
No.
But not this.
You're not gonna get naked. It is not an OnlyFans.
I would love to see you over at Patreon. We have a Patreon account that the link is in the description. You can go to it and subscribe and see all of this bonus content, Q&As, lives, bonus pictures, bonus footage, blooper reels, death.
My back.
All of that and more. So if you want to get to know us on more of a personal level, I don't know why you would, because we're kind of chaotic, but starting at $3 a month, you can come and support us. The support helps us with things like buying new equipment, going out and making more content for you guys. So the support is very much appreciated, and I thank all of you who have or are going to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you over there.
Yeah.
Brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. On May 26th, Kithure Kindiki, Interior Cabinet Secretary, said Paul hired criminals armed with crude weapons to kill followers who changed their minds about fasting and wanted out, along with those who simply took too long to die. So if you were taking too long to starve from malnourishment, you were just gonna get murdered.
Alright, I guess. I don't know, when it comes to like religion, people are so like devoted that if somebody comes along, and also obviously they're like people that are easily manipulated, especially because like he's saying, oh, it's for God, it's for Jesus, and then they're like, oh, well, we better do it. Yeah, and it's like all common sense just leaves your body. You're like, you forget that like, oh, this probably isn't a good idea. Like, I should not make my family members starve themselves to get to meet Jesus, because people in the past didn't have to starve themselves to meet Jesus, you know? And they're just... This guy really makes me mad.
By May 10th, 2023, 133 deaths were confirmed. So that is a lot of people that they found dead in that forest. And there's still more that they could possibly be finding because this is still an ongoing investigation. Like, this is May, it's July right now, so who knows how many they have found by now. Including 8 of them, but they were rescued, taken to a hospital, but they just died. It was they were too far gone to be saved because, you know, once you get to that point of being malnourished so bad, food can literally kill you. Like, overeating can kill you.
Yeah, it's really hard to bring somebody out of, like, starvation. Because you have to do it so slowly, and then, like, it can start to affect them. And
when you go to, like, someone who has an eating disorder and is extremely underweight, and they go to a rehab specializing in that, they won't just hand you a bunch of food and be like, okay, take this, and shove it all down your throat. Like, you have to start with, like, micro doses of what a normal serving size is and, like, work your way up, or else it will literally kill you. The majority of the deaths were children, and then women were the next largest group. That is sad. And you see a lot of cases like we talked about earlier. A woman took her kids, left her husband, and went and joined this cult out in the forest. A lot of people were doing that, just leaving their husbands, and then their husbands were like, what the heck? So I don't know if these children were being manipulated, telling him, like, him telling the kids, hey, leave school, drop out and come join me, and then the kids go home and tell their parents, and then the dad is just like, oh, that's ridiculous, and the mom is like, no, he might be onto something. It leads to disagreements, and then the ones who believe go and the ones who don't stay, and it tore apart families. Not all of the deaths were from starvation. Some were suffocated, some were strangled, and others were just beaten until they dropped dead. On April 30th, 2023, 410 were reported missing still. June 13th, the number of reported deaths was 303, and the number of people still missing was 613.
There's a lot of people
in that forest. And the forest is massive, so it's like... On May 7th, 2023, Paul and his third wife were arrested along with 16 members of the cult. I could not find any information on what happened to his first wife and second wife. I don't know if they just up and left him, if they, like, came to their senses and they were like, oh, this is crazy, like, we're gonna get in trouble, or if they died. I don't know if, like, they starved themselves to death and died. Why is Paul not starving himself to die? Why does he get to eat, but everybody else doesn't? That's something I don't understand.
He probably is like, I'm putting myself on the line to, like, help other people meet Jesus or something, like trying to make it sound like a selfless act.
As of May 13th, 2023, they have been held in custody. They plan to be charged with terrorism-related offenses. I don't understand that one, because I feel like he should get charged with, like, child neglect, child abuse, domestic battery. I don't know what their laws are over there. I don't know what, some kind of abuse, neglect, like... Maybe,
like, the terrorist charge is, like, way worse, and so they want to slap that on him? Or...
Possibly.
I don't know.
And they were both denied bail, so they're not getting out. On April 24th, the Malindi Sub-County Hospital's morgue was at capacity, so they had to stop searching the entire forest until they were able to do autopsies on the 90 bodies that they already had at the hospital. Because, you know, their hospitals aren't as big and massive as ours are, so they got overloaded very quickly, bringing just a bunch of random bodies in to do autopsies on. They're not used to that kind of influx of people over a short amount of period. They had to put everything on hold. And then they noticed that some bodies were missing their organs. So then they were like, is this man harvesting organs? That is some alien type deal going on right there. Like, what the heck? But then later on in their investigation, about a month later, they came to the conclusion that there was no organ harvesting being done, so the case was closed on that. They don't know why the organs were missing though, I don't know. That just seems weird to me. Yeah, like...
They weren't harvesting the organs are just gone.
Yeah, like where'd they go and who was doing what with them? On June 12th, 2023, 65 victims were arraigned at the Shanzhou law courts for attempted suicide. So these people are so devoted that they would kill themselves right then and there to go meet Jesus. Someone quoted, "The prosecution made an application to have them remanded in prison because the rescue center can no longer hold them. They are also set to undergo a mental and medical assessment and be forced to eat in prison. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for June 26th. I just Googled, it's July 15th right now. I just Googled a bunch of stuff and I can't find anything from this month, and things from last month is just saying that a trial is awaiting. I couldn't find anything for this hearing that was supposed to happen on June 26th. All it says is that he plans to be tried on terrorism charges, so we'll probably be doing a part 2 in the future. And then I did see, one thing new that I did see is that people who were being held in the prison went on a 10-day hunger strike that killed a couple people because they believe so hardcore that they have to starve themselves to meet Jesus that they just do not want to eat, and they have been brainwashed so badly. So hopefully they get the help that they need and they stop dying. Hey Jim.
Hey Tim.
Want to hear a serial killer?
God damn it, Timothy.
Want to hear a cult not so fun fact?
Yes.
Okay. In 1981, the KKK were fed up and decided they wanted to start their own country. The plan involved restoring Prime Minister Patrick John to power on the island of Dominica. The plan obviously fell through because they broke the Neutrality Act. Just imagine if the KKK was just chilling on their own little country.
I mean, it wouldn't be that bad. You guys stay over there.
We'll stay over here.
Hey Tim.
Hey Jim.
You want to hear a cult not so fun fact?
Yeah.
What was?
Were you about to say serial killer Tim?
Hey Tim.
Hey Jim.
You want to hear a cult not so fun fact?
I sure do.
Charles Manson's mom once sold him for a pint of beer.
Would you ever sell me for a pint of beer?
I don't really like beer, but I'm sure I could trade you for something.
I'll trade you for 2 nickels. I'm so done with this video. Like and comment and subscribe because this was freaking chaotic, and there will be a part 2 if there is more information that is ever posted on the internet, because I'm actually following this and I'm pretty invested because I hate this guy. Is there the death penalty in Kenya? I don't think so, but there should be. If you liked this video and you want to see other cult videos, we have a couple other cult videos on the channel that you can go check out. There's a little la 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 la. There's a playlist titled Cults, and you can go check out other ones. We have done Jim Jones. We have done the... Bye. Me and Cody call this the triangle of fuck yous because it's 2 middle fingers flipped upside down to a triangle. I didn't throw up a gang sign.
I'm leaving. What if that is a gang sign?
Oh, forget I did that. Okay, bye.